And thanks for joining us now. It's 11 o'clock tonight. After weeks of controversy and contentious debate, a bill increasing immigration enforcement now heads to the governor's desk. Senate Bill 76 passed its final hurdle in the House and Senate tonight. So now our Logan Gay takes a look into what this means for Hoosiers.
Inside the Indiana State House, one final day of heated debate over Senate Bill 76.
We are trying to fix something that is broken at a national level. And this bill will not fix it. What this bill will do, it will terrorize students, and some of them born and raised in the United States.
There's a way to come into our country legally. I'd rather them do that instead of costing our taxpayers more money to house them in a government facility and to feed them and to give them free health care. We get to pay for that.
The bill requires local police and jails to cooperate with federal authorities. It also makes it illegal for businesses to knowingly hire undocumented workers or face penalties. And it prevents government entities, including public colleges and universities, from limiting immigration enforcement. While K-12 schools aren't specifically named, districts could fall under that definition. In a statement, Marion County Sheriff Kerry Forrestal spoke out against that idea, saying in part, Governor Braun needs to stop and think, does he want to be remembered for enacting this kind of policy and negatively impacting our children and schools? We cannot afford to jeopardize our community relationships merely to satisfy the most extreme among us. There is too much at stake. Under the bill, Indiana's Attorney General can sue agencies that don't comply and defend those that do. Outside the chamber Wednesday, protesters said the impact could stretch far beyond undocumented immigrants.
I'm worried for the immigrants I know. I'm worried for my family. I'm worried about this bill allowing racial profiling of anyone who is not Caucasian. It just sets a poor precedent.
Lawmakers have made their decision. Now supporters and critics alike are watching to see how it plays out. In Indianapolis, Logan Gay, 13 News.
Tonight, Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita applauded the Senate's decision to approve this bill and then send it on to the governor's desk. He said in part, by giving our office authority over detainer compliance, imposing penalties on employers hiring illegal aliens, and enhancing the state's ability to detect illegal aliens' use of Medicaid, we can defend our communities, enforce the law, hold bad actors accountable, and put Hoosiers first. Our Emily Longnecker and Dustin Grove have covered this debate over immigration enforcement at the State House for weeks. You can find their comprehensive coverage in Crossroads Politics. It's streaming right now over on WTHR+. Rob?
Well, I want you to take a look at this, especially if you have plans early tomorrow morning. This system has really started to get its act together. Now, it's got to overcome some drier air once it arrives overnight tonight. Already starting to see some precipitation showing up, but this is going to encounter that dry air and it's going to eat into a lot of it. Unfortunately, it's also going to help to drop the temperatures a bit, which were in the 50s today. Now we're down into the 30s and 40s. So we have cooled down pretty quickly. We're getting a little concerned that there may be a bit more accumulation than perhaps we were thinking because the temperatures have dropped so much. In fact, if this band sets up and sits over the same area, we could see several inches of snow overnight, but not for everyone. It's only going to be in some isolated locations. Overall, after that moves out by most of the morning commute, I think we're done with this. Then the temperatures can warm up and will likely melt a lot of that. I'm going to call it up to an inch of snow. That is a bit increased from what we were expecting a little bit earlier, but there could be some isolated spots that pick up 2 inches or more, especially right now it appears south of Indy. Most of this will start as rain, switching to snow, and should be out of here by 7 o'clock in the morning or so. But watch for that if you're heading out early. After that, we see sunshine and warmer temperatures. I'll talk about those coming up in a few.
Here's a look at the other stories making headlines tonight. 2 men already serving prison sentences for murder now face new charges in a prison attack. Investigators say Toby Garrison and Daniel Jones attacked the victim at the Newcastle Correctional Facility over a debt, and in court documents admitted to trying to kill the victim, claiming ties to the American Irish Mafia. Tonight they're charged with attempted murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and criminal organization activity. Tonight, the man accused of killing Beech Grove officer Brian Elliott is transferring to the Indiana Department of Correction on a safekeeping order. Kenneth Johnson was previously booked into the Marion County Jail. He's pleaded not guilty to the murder of Officer Elliott. His trial is set for June. Right now, we're working to learn what happened to a person found dead inside of a mobile home on the west side of Indianapolis this morning. This happened near I-70 in Lyndhurst. Tonight, IMPD is calling this a death investigation. Right now, we're working to get an update. The Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission just announced it is launching an investigation into 5 major utility companies. They're asking AES, CenterPoint Energy, Duke Energy, Indiana Michigan and Power, and Northern Indiana Public Service to explain how usage translates to costs. This is all part of the IURC's probe into energy affordability. The city of Carmel is cracking down tonight on illegal parking in response to local business concerns. So expect to see increased parking enforcement over the next few months. The city is also adding part-time enforcement officers and adding new technology to Carmel police cars to help with enforcement. Remember, you can find all of our latest local stories streaming anytime. Just scan this QR code on your screen.